Here we are on beautiful Jones Street.
You saw Ted Jones.
2 claps and Ric Flair. Woo!
Ric Flair?
Woo! He never did steroids. He just did cocaine and booze.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking, and I think more people are realizing that if you keep your diet clean, it's amazing what the body can do. Like cocaine can't. How can cocaine can be that bad?
Cocaine's a plant.
Right.
It's a plant.
Right.
You know why it's so bad here?
Why? Right. There's like oil in
This
it.
is my drugs that I know. They cut it up with so much shit.
Right.
To make, obviously, to like the cocaine. If you ever do cocaine, like I went to Mexico and done cocaine, and it's like you're fine. Like you're high as fuck for hours, but you're fine the next day. No, none of that.
No jaw stuff.
Dude, I remember when me and my friends all went to Mexico for our 30th birthday. We just did a ton of drugs. And literally all of us, like when we got back, we were like, oh, we're going to like feel like shit.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, we're fine. We're good.
Did it make you addicted to it though a little bit?
Oh, I was already addicted.
Oh, right.
No, I wasn't addicted, but I just did it a bunch.
Bro, you know what? It reminds me, I think the first time, one, there's no way you remember meeting me for the first time.
No, you just came
2,
around. You were like a
I feel
myth.
like I spawned a little bit.
Yeah. You came like a pixie dust out of nowhere.
Well, the thing was, because I probably met you at the old stand when I was hanging with Julia when I was like 22, 23. Mm-hmm. But you had long hair. That's why I bring it up.
Yeah, I did.
I remember that.
I rocked it for a minute.
You know what I'm also thinking now, like in the length that I am? The amount of awkward weeks sometimes turn into months that I've had where people are like, bro, you got to get a cut. And then sometimes people be like, oh, no, you look good.
You got to go through the awkward phase. It's the awkward phase. But the awkward phase is brutal.
Brutal.
Yeah, people don't realize how awkward it is.
It's weeks.
Yeah, you got to just take it.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of in it.
See, I did a man bun during COVID. And I think it's because I was dating a girl. And she was like,
to be a girl?
Not even that. No. I wanted to be a trans.
What's up, though?
She was like, no, I kind of like it like this. So when she was like, I like it like this, I was like, well, I don't have to worry about anything.
You know what is interesting? Because I think girls are more honest about hair, but when it comes to body types, I don't think girls are so honest.
What do you mean?
I mean, every girl that I've ever been with wants me to be a little bit more husky. And then I'm thinking that that's maybe because she doesn't want me to be attractive to other
That's just
chicks.
because you're too perfect, and they have to just take you down a little bit.
I don't know.
They had to just knock you down just a few decibels.
You know what,
They're
man?
a good-looking kid.
You know what it is, bro?
No, by the way, I was thinking on the way here.
Quickly, yeah.
I was like, you have good aura.
All right.
You and Julio have the same kind of good aura, and that's why good stuff happens to you guys. I was like, they have good aura.
Yeah.
The aura is good.
We'll see, man. Hopefully we'll be filling out this basement soon with a lot of people.
Yeah,
bro, you know what's interesting? I'm going to film this up. Chris Scopo is one of the first guys we've had on the podcast down here that was like a full lantern comic. By that, I mean, he was here 10 years ago, ripping spots down here. And then you know who stopped by last night? James Mattern. And he was talking about how all you guys used to cut your teeth down here with insane shows.
Yeah, it used to be kind of crazy. It used to be like...
It was lawless.
It was not the same as it was. The stage was right here. Actually, we're sitting on the stage. Yeah. Stage was right here.
It's insane, though, that they put the stage here. Why would they even ever think about putting the stage?
I don't know,
here
but it was like, it was long. It was like long. It's way nicer now. I'll be honest. It's way nicer now, but it was long. But dude, I mean, you could if you pack this room out, like 30 people.
No, more. Down here now?
But if you had 30 people, boom, this place was fire at points. Fire.
Yeah.
Look how small the room is with the ceilings are a big deal in comedy. One of the biggest, you have some low ceilings. The laughter has to stay trapped. And it was good because honestly with this though, you got to keep moving your head back and forth. Not the best. This was just straightforward.
Interesting.
You never have to worry about, the only people you had to worry about was a couple over here and then whatever. But it was straightforward. I actually like that better than moving back and forth.
Right, but just logistically, I feel like it makes sense there.
Yeah,
right?
probably get more people in here now.
Yeah, definitely. I think
they were
like
couches
55.
down here.
Yeah.
There were couches.
Oh yeah, I know. That Ed told me that back there was called BJ Alley.
I've never got one there, but I don't deny it. I don't deny there was some weird people in the back at times.
People were just getting also
hand jobs. I think a lot of things.
OTPHJs probably.
Yeah, little handies back there.
Yeah.
Who used to come here? Hannibal came here a bunch when I was running shows. You just pop in and you just sit in the back, and I'd be like, just give him whatever he wants to drink, and I'll be like, Hannah, do you want to go up? He's like, man, we'll see.
Dude, so everybody's been here for the most part.
Yeah, pretty much everyone's been here.
Chappelle ever come here?
I don't know. I maybe, but I don't know because he was already like Chappelle when he got to New York was already like Chappelle.
You already had the show?
No. Like he came at like 18, 19 years old, but he was already. They said he was already famous. Like he
Seinfeld
was
ever come here?
Nah, Seinfeld's he's too old for this.
No, yeah.
It's probably anyone who's about 50 or younger in comedy. So
Right.
I know Burr's come here.
Louis C.K. I know. I mean, even he was on here in a show. Do you know the story about that? Ed told me like an insane story.
I was here.
That.
I was here when they filmed it.
Apparently he walked in, Louis C.K. was like, I fucking hate this place, or like, hey, I hate this shithole. And then Ed saw Louis C.K. on the street, and then like he wanted to like say that was funny, but Louis kind of ignored him, I think.
Yeah, this place did stink for a minute. I bombed here so bad.
Dude,
that,
I had one really bad, but I haven't. It was only really one time thus far, but hopefully never again.
But like no, but they'd be like 4 people down here, and like 3 of them didn't speak English. And they were just like, get a show, get people in here. And with 4 people, all right, we'll start a show. Let's go. 3 of them didn't speak English. 1 person did, and it's just like you just on stage like, what the fuck am I doing in my life? One of those kind of.
You can hear a pin drop down here.
Yeah, one of those kind of things. But it's good times. Like you learn how to do comedy down here. There's a lot of
people keep saying that. How do you mean in saying that?
Okay,
I think I kind of get it, but what do you mean to the people?
When a show is like, when it's I've seen like what I've seen like younger guys like that go upstairs when the show's not doing well, they just kind of stick to their scripts of like just going with. I'm like, you gotta like, not even like mess with them a little bit, just like change the energy up. Just kind of just bang them, like make them not be comfortable sitting there kind of way. Like just like you have to start. If you just go up there and start doing your jokes and like you're gay, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You gotta like get in there and you just the energy in the room. You gotta shift the energy up real quick. And you could tell it takes time to learn that shit. It takes time to like, okay, I gotta chin the energy up. But there are times when I have to do that, and you have to do that in certain rooms, and you're like, I don't want to do that. I want to just do my shit. And I've done that too, and just like, all right, I'm just gonna take one, but I had to work on these jokes.
And I would say also, to interrupt you, that it does feel like it's not unique to New York, but it's those rooms that are small and you can hear pin drop and you can see people's faces in the audience. It doesn't happen more so in a 200 person improv place. Like that's a place where you just stick to the script.
It's funny, like you could see like comics who came here from other states and they had like their local comedy club or local 2-3 comedy clubs. They didn't have like rooms like this, where New York was the first place to really have rooms like this. And they came here and they didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know what to do when 4 people in a room, 5 people in a room, and they're not really laughing. They don't know. They just stick to their script of like, this is what I do constantly. Yeah. But there is a good and bad. Like I didn't do like a 30-minute set until I was like 8 or 9 years in, because I never had to. Because I lived in New York, I grew up here, and if a comedy club wanted a feature act, they got a good headliner and just like, hey, just open up, do 25 minutes here. So you didn't really learn how to do 30 minutes until like you started. They learned how to do 30 minutes. I remember talking to Dan Soda about this. He was like, yeah, he's like, when he came, he started Arizona, and he came here. He was like, yeah, it wasn't great, but I knew what 30 minutes was. I didn't know what 30 minutes was. I still don't know 30 minutes.
That's also something though about starting comedy in another market besides New York, is that you're doing longer shows for more amount of people earlier on. You know? So it's like the pros and cons of starting in New York versus starting in a different market.
Also, you make money other places. In order to make $500 a weekend, you have to do club shows. Yeah, you can't just do like spots around like this place.
What have you seen? I guess since maybe the turning point was kind of COVID, and then what's better about the comedy scene now, and what's not as good as it was before?
There's not as many shows. Or I kind of maybe aged out, like the younger guys. There's not as many shows. I just do more clubs. You don't want to, like, after a while, like I don't really want to do. I don't want to do a 5-person room in Brooklyn for no money. It's just not as much fun. I can't get enough. I can't. Yes, when you're like 5-6 years in, that's when you should be able to. That's when you should do those shows because of the fact that you have to learn what to do. But like after a while, it's like I know I can make them laugh, but am I going to gain anything out of this? There's not as many of those shows anymore. I've realized.
Why do you think that is? Maybe
I just think. Well, first of all, bars closed down.
Yeah, and bars are just realizing that they need to make money every single night, not just like a dead Tuesday. They still want to try and
bars
the game.
Places closed down, and people got to make money, so maybe they do other things there or something like that. And there people I don't know if bar owners are as willing to just do a comedy night anymore. There was also you got to realize that COVID was 2020, but like. This place that is getting back to normal to what 2022? You say?
What do you mean?
Like restaurants and stuff didn't really start getting back to. Like people weren't mentally there till 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
So not everyone's going to a bar. No one's coming down here in 2022 with 20 people to do. Who wants to? What kind of the libs in New York? I want to come down here and be in a room.
Why are you saying that?
Look at this room. It's a small room. If someone has COVID here,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember there was a whole time where people were like, "Yeah, we're never going to shake hands again, let alone come in a room like this and just all spit over each other."
Yeah, people are cool now.
Like if a comic spit onto like somebody's food in that front row, which
in 2022,
it would done so many times.
They would probably kill them on stage. Just sacrifice them. Yeah. So that's what it's. So you got to realize that. People's mindsets didn't really come around.
So I guess that's more recent though. So if you can maybe turn it back, like, I don't know, like 7 years ago, like 2018 and now, like the old Stand when I probably first met you.
Okay. What's better about it?
I'd say what's different. What's different, what's better.
What's different?
And now that obviously social media has changed the game.
Social media is now, honestly, in 2021, social media really kind of changed. COVID really, there used to be comics that like would be like Vine people or like YouTube people, and they would do it, but they always would get flushed out. They would do it for a little bit and get flushed out because they couldn't handle it.
What do you mean get flushed out? Like
they would do it for a year, but they would suck. They'd bomb, and they couldn't really fill the room really after a couple weekends because they knew that people like I've been at clubs where like people walk out like this guy's terrible at comedy. Why? I'm not watching 45 minutes of this. He's horrible. They would get flushed out, and I think comedy clubs really got screwed over. Not screwed over, but like they were like, we don't care who you are. If you get people in here, we're good. Like I just saw Vinny from the Jersey Shores doing Buffalo this weekend. No offense to Vinny, he can't do a good 45 minutes. I don't know the guy at all, but like there's no way. He's doing comedy like what 5 years, maybe 4 years, 3 years. So that's changed. People now, it's easier to get weekends if you have 200,000 Instagram followers. You just get Look at that guy, Little Mo Mozzarella. Look at him. There's no way that guy could do 45 minutes well. So, but he can fill seats. They don't care. That's one thing that's changed a lot. It was happening, but not as much. That's changed a lot.
Well, maybe that's also, obviously it's also because of social media, but like back in 2017, 2018, it seems like these headliner clubs would reach out to a New York comedy club, the Stand, Cellar, be like, all right, can you give us some of your best people to fill out this weekend or X? And then all the people who are from those towns, they would naturally go to that comedy club on Friday night and expect to see some of the most recommended names from New York City. You know what I mean?
Well, that still happens though.
No, I know, but I'm saying more so now, people are drawn to buy tickets if they know this person's face from social media.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Back in like 2017,
there is no. You know what's funny?
The club.
I was at doing a weekend with Pavone recently, and there was
that guy.
Yeah, we're on a people on a wall, right? People like who's coming here, right? And we're looking at people like we don't really know who they are, and a couple guys we did. And we see one guy, this is an old white guy, and I look up his Instagram, he has 5,000 followers, and Pavone goes, this guy must be the funniest person.
Yes.
You go, there's no way
100%
that this guy has 5,000 followers and he's getting a weekend at a good club.
Which is
that means that he's grandfathered in, and he's probably the funniest fucking guy.
And then there are guys who've been passed at the Cellar for 30 years, and they have 2,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah, they're the funniest people, but they can't really fill a room. That's what clubs really don't care about anymore. Clubs in the Midwest, they don't give a shit about who's funny or not. They don't care. As long as you get people in there, they do not care at all. That's the one thing I like. Everyone's like, oh, we're comedy purist. It's like, you're not. You're a business owner. Remember that. You want people there. But that guy it was just funny. It was just like, that guy's probably the funniest person.
And it's like, yeah, you comedy purist, but like, would you rather sell 150 tickets or 250 tickets?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
and then deal with the consequences.
Yeah. So it's
a lot of times though, like people that are like big and famous, they have crowds, and their crowds are for them. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter what happens. They're going to see, say Ted Jones has, 1 million followers. They want to see the Ted Jones experience. They don't want to see comedy. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care, but be you who you are online, you're fine. That's what happens a lot.
How do you feel about it?
What are we gonna do? Fucking cry about it? I don't know. You gotta just keep working. I've come to the realization that like crying about it, what is that gonna make me? What is that gonna do in my life? It does nothing. I just gotta get to that level. How? People I see people like complaining about it. I go, what does it matter? Who cares? Good for them. They hit it. They got the secret formula. There's a secret formula to get famous, and then just do shit. They did it. Good for them. You do it. Don't cry about it, because the clubs don't care. They don't care who you are, and if you're funnier, they don't give a shit. They go, how can I make money? How could this person make me money?
So it's more so now. It's not even more so now. It's always been the bottom line. But I think it's become more apparent about the bottom line, meaning how much money can one person or club make.
Yes, that's all it cares.
It's been more apparent.
You gotta also realize that all these improvs are owned by corporations. They're not owned by Tommy, the fucking club owner. They're owned by corporations. And the corporations, what do they want? They want money. They don't care how you get it. They want money. Like, there's some comedy clubs that like do that just still, they'll bring that club I was talking about. The guy goes, that probably, he probably knows the owner well, because I don't care. This guy's so funny. Give him a weekend. That doesn't happen though. The corporations are like, who the agents sending me? You gotta realize that the big thing with the agents, they go, this is the new guy. And then a lot of times if he's popping off, let's see how he does. A lot of clubs will give people, like, if you have following, they'll give them an opportunity for a weekend. If he sells tickets, they'll have him back. But if he doesn't sell tickets, you're gone. So like, they're not going to do that. So if you don't sell tickets and you suck, that ain't good either.
I guess this is just the way going forward.
This is just life. Think about that. This is life. How is you gotta make money? You gotta just keep trying to get better. Keep trying to do something. Throw shit at the wall. Something will hit. Who's that girl? Like, she got big on TikTok during the COVID, and all she did was dub Donald Trump's speeches. I forget her name. She's been here before. I've met her a couple times. She's a sweet girl, but like, she shouldn't have got to the level she got so quickly, but she did. And now it's what can she do with it? Can she stand up? Stand up. Can she propel it? Can she do it well? And she seems like she is, so good for her. So that she cracked the code. It's not easy to crack the code.
Yeah.
There are nights where I'm sitting with my dog going, buddy, can you talk? Because I think that might sell tickets. So it's like, what are you going to do? You going to fucking cry about it? Who gives a shit? No one cares.
I mean, bro, you got a great attitude. You have a great attitude, you're right.
Buddy, yeah, no, it stinks. It stinks when you're like, oh, I'm funny to this person, but what are you going to do? Who cares? They cracked the code. That's what you got to say is they cracked the code. How do I crack the code?
A lot less there's really no gatekeepers anymore besides the social media apps.
Dude, there's there is still gatekeepers, because the people sometimes like the corporations push out. You're like, oh, this guy's terrible. But like podcasting made that was the thing too. Like in 2017, 2018, a Shane Gillis couldn't be Shane Gillis. Like it was starting to change around that time, but it wasn't there yet.
Why can he not be? What do you mean?
Because the corporations didn't make Shane Gillis. He made him. Well, he produced his first special. He produced his own TV show. Obviously, he went on these podcasts and he was funny. But like, you can go on all the podcasts in the world, be funny back then, and not do anything with it. Like if they didn't tap you as the guy, because like, say he was funny, whatever, and he didn't have a following, they're not going to put him on the road. Who cares? he has a couple like Comedy Central presents. Great, no one watches it anyway. They would tap you as the guy. He was so funny where he did his own show. His podcast got huge. The SNL thing did help him, but like he wasn't tapped as the guy because he thought he wasn't going to get SNL. But Lauren Michaels was like, "Oh, you're just the funniest guy here. We need to have something like you." And he was tapped as the guy. He wasn't tapped as the guy. And back in the day, if there was no podcasting or no like internet or whatever, and it was just like SNL or TV shows made you, he wouldn't have been tapped as the guy because they were immediately like, no. They don't. What does he do for us? He's not, what we want to put out. A classic white guy was not what they wanted to put out in 2017, 2018. Those kind of guys made them who they are, who themselves are by starting a podcast. It's huge. That's what it's crazy now. Like, there's got to be a shift somewhere with like I'm trying to learn it myself. Where's the next shift? Because podcasting was it. I think podcasting is getting too saturated. Or it is too saturated. But what's the next thing? What's the next like way to get followers or all that bullshit, whatever you call it? When I figure it out, come back to Ted Jones' world.
I feel like also during the time, the next shift, it was like the man on the street, which both you and I, it seems like we're doing.
I done,
The podcasting, and then I think it's just a matter of, sketches have always kind of been hitting, maybe more so now, character sketches. But I think it's really locking in and focusing on, will this particular community like it and share in a group chat with other people?
Yes. What is the next? What is the when I do a video, like I have a video for like the 100 gorilla thing, whatever, and I'm like, will people share this? Because will people see this and go, oh, that's me and my friends, or something like that? When I do those man on the street shit, I realized a lot with the man on the street stuff. I tapped into people's nostalgia when I said, what is the sluttiest area in Long Island, or whatever what I said, and it would be like fucking whatever, Baldwin, whatever, and then people would be like, oh my God, I knew a fucking girl from Baldwin.
Yeah.
She definitely was a slut. Yes. And be like, I told you this is what it was. Or girls be like, oh my God, we're fucking sluts from Baldwin.
Yeah.
You tap into like people's feelings and emotions. That is the key to social media. It's hard to do. It's not easy at all. Like, I put videos out recently where I got some followers where I just dubbed over like scenes from TV shows, and I would put my own like little quotes in there, and people loved it. And that was someone's emotions. Then I would put out a sketch, and it would just bomb.
Yeah, that's also the balance. It's like you put stuff out that you want to put out, but then also, to gain more traction, you have to tap into those feelings. And you're like, well, I didn't really like making that as much as I liked making this other thing.
No, I hated doing the man on the street stuff. Yeah, it was like, because like, first of all, it wasn't showing my funny, and it's just like, am I going to be the guy who asks people if they're sluts or not? Like, it's like, I don't want to do that. It wasn't fun. It was great because it got me followers, but it wasn't like, I didn't want to keep doing it. Like that. I was like, I'll do it every once in a while, but like, I'm not going to keep doing it. It's just not fun for me. So you got to just learn what the hell you don't. Keep going. But you tapping into nostalgia is the key in this social media world. Tapping into people's emotions. How could I tap into someone's emotion? How can I tap into, like, I'll tell you my idea for the 100-guy gorilla. It's just like, my idea is to do like every guy in the friend group, where there's the realist, be like, we can't beat them. There's the dreamer, but like, dude, I'll take an ankle out. And then the other one was like the dreamer, the over the top guy. Don't think boy, it's just crazy, just says wild shit for no reason. Just like, dude, what if we just masturbate in front of the gorilla? Then what if we just do that? Throw him off. Like, yeah. So I'm like, maybe that will tap into be like, there's always that one guy who just throws absurd things out there.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
It's all like, how can we tap in? How can we do that? This is very fucking, this is not funny podcast, but this is real.
Well, you know what? I think people are listening, and if they're outside of the comedy sphere, it's two comedians talking about the trajectory of life as a comedian, bro. You know?
Think about that in just regular life. If you're just a regular person, and what do you like to see on Instagram? What do you like to see on TikTok? Either the flavor of the month, which is whatever that pops off, weekly or monthly, where you're like, I got to share that. Whatever the fucking Taylor Swift dating somebody, who knows, whatever it is, or song. That's why those trends are so big on TikTok and Instagram, where those things, they happen quick and they go right away. But the people that are really good know how to tap into that right away, and they can put a video out. That's what like the thing is. And like even like you're not going to share something with your friends that's not meaningful. So that's the thing. How do you find the meaningful stuff? How do you connect to people? Schultz was the first guy. I remember I did a gig with him, and he was just people were, I think how big this man is. He was getting passed over by networks. They were just not saying yes. They were like, no, we don't want him. We don't think he's the guy. And he was just, I remember being
all the time, right? He was all the time?
Yeah, but he was already at the clubs at this point, and he was doing on the roads at Guy Code, but he wasn't getting to that next level. He wasn't getting to that. And he was the first one that, kind of what Dane Cook did, but Dane Cook did differently. He's like, I'm just going to give my comedy out to people and see if they like it. And I remember being like, I'm just going to put a video up a week because I have plenty of videos. I'll just put one up a week. It's a minute. Well, it is a minute. And everyone does that now, but it's just a minute a week. He goes, and then people would be like, he tapped into the fact that they're not watching for a half hour anymore. They're watching for 1 minute, and they watch another video from 1 minute and another minute and another. And then after a while you start, oh, this guy's funny. So he tapped into the short quickness of it. And he knows more than anybody what the trajectory of comedy is going to be, or even society is going to be. You talk to him, he goes, this is going to happen, watch. And then it happens. And it's weird how, remember like people just copied him for like years? He would do shit, people just copied him.
No.
You don't remember that?
What do you mean?
Dude, he was putting out content. He was the first one to put out his stand-up clips. Now everyone puts out stand-up clips. And everything. He did this. Remember that during COVID, he did turn your phone this way?
Yeah.
He was the first one to do that. And then people started doing that. It was just like he just started, he had an idea. He would try it. He got big enough where like people would see it. And then people just started copying what he was doing. Bobby Kelly's the first comedian actually to really make a podcast people don't know that. His YKWD podcast was the first one to really show comics how funny they are. There wasn't that many.
The audience.
Yeah.
Right.
There wasn't, he would show the ball busting that we do. There wasn't that many podcasts that it would be like one-on-one Mark Maron's, Burr by himself. Those were good, but he got a bunch of comics on to just talk. And Bob was the first one to really do that. Even though his podcast is not like the biggest of the biggest, he was the first one to be like, this is what's going to be, this is what's going to happen. And then Legion of Skanks started from Bobby, basically. And like Joe List's podcast started from Bobby. They got on, they're like, that's funny, we should do our own thing. That spawned that way. So that's what it really comes down to. This has been Chris Scopo Talk with Chris Scopo.
How often was Schultz actually here at the Lantern?
When I met him, probably 2-3 nights a week. 2-3 nights a week doing stuff. But when I met him, he was starting to get into clubs. He was already at Stand Up New York. New York's Comedy Club wasn't anything. But then he got into the Cellar. So I only knew him here maybe like 6-7 months. I barked from him a bunch of times here.
Yeah.
But like 6-7 months.
Running like weekends or what?
I don't know if he did weekends. I only barked from him during the week a bunch of times, I should say. I don't remember. No, I think the weekends he was already like getting good where like smaller clubs wanted him in the weekends. When I met him. But like Khalees Hawkins used to run the weekends here. Who else ran weekends? I'm trying to think. Khalees, I know that. Oh, Colin Kane used to run this place.
Ed has mentioned him before to me.
Yeah, he used to run this place. And he was smart where he just did like on a weekend, he had like 3 comics before him, then he did like 30 minutes. And that's how he ran his show. That's how he got funny. He might not have been the nicest person, where Schultz used to bark for Colin Kane. And people have told me like one time that Colin Kane yelled at Schultz, like right in front of him. And that's like, Schultz is like a person where I'm like, oh, I remember that. Now I remember that. Now I'm going to be bigger than you. So I've heard he wasn't the nicest person. So maybe that's why, he's not where he should be. But I also don't love his comedy. But like, hey, he did it for a while. He was a funny guy, so nothing bad against the guy. But sometimes you treat people differently.
Yeah, bro. You got to cut the grass low, they say.
Yeah. Treat people nice. I mentioned Schultz, but I learned a lot from Schultz of like, he still talks to me and he shouldn't. Like, he's too famous, but like, he still talks to me. He's like, he doesn't look at anybody. He looks at people differently, obviously, but like he wants to learn from anybody. If we were here right now, he'd probably ask you a couple questions. Like, what do you think about this? He wants to learn from people. And he always like, people kind of feel, they want to, when you talk to him, he makes you feel that he wants to know from you, wants to know about you, which makes people like you. It's a very thing with How to Win Money, Influence People. You read that book? Where,
no, but I know of it.
Yeah. To get people to like you, you're doing it right now. I'm talking, you're doing, no, I swear to God. How to get people to like you. Make them talk when you're talking to them. Talk about I want to show you how kind of person I am. And the more I keep talking and you're like, hey buddy, that's great. I like that. No, good stuff. I'm like, oh, this guy's fucking, he likes me. So that makes you, it's a weird thing how it's like, make people like you, talk less. It's a weird kind of thing, but yeah, it's very true. And that he does that naturally, Schultz. I remember I asked him, I go, do you ever read this book? And he goes, no, I never read it. I go, do you do that naturally? It's like, why is Bill Clinton, why was he like the best? Because he made people, when he walked into a room, he had a thing where Bill Clinton just remembered who you were. So he met you twice or one time, he remembered you. Maybe he had someone telling you, I don't know. But he remembered you. So when he went over you, hey, how's your family doing? He'd be like, you remember my family? Oh my God, that's crazy. That's why he was like one of the greatest politicians, because same with Obama. He made you think that you were important. How to Win Money, Influence People. Read the book.
We were talking about it briefly. If you run across him, you got to tell him to come back.
Yeah, I'll tell him. He might come back. If he's in the area, he'll come back. He's good like that.
It's just wild how much history is like in this place, bro. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, Schumer, I've been here a couple of times. I think Schumer's popped in a couple of times.
Wow.
Before she was like really big.
Right. Yeah. Apparently she had a weekly show, I think, here.
Really?
I think so.
I didn't know that. I remember Burr, you know who Burr would pop, maybe not now with his kids, but like I've been here when I've been here a couple of times when like Burr just like is walking in maybe he's going to the cellar and he's like, can I just pop in? I'm like, yeah, go on stage. He would do that. He would come here and do that. Guys who love comedy would do it. Like guys who just like want to just do comedy, and like oh, I haven't done this place in so long. We try to do it again. He would do it.
Bro, you're the ticket man. You reach out to the people and let me know. We'll put them on stage, bro.
Yeah, that'd be funny if Schultz just walks in. You're like, can I get up? Like, do you have tape? You got tape? You got anything good?
Clips,
you got anything good here?
I got this thing from Dubai. You think of like that?
Yeah. I sold out an arena and I sold out the Garden. One of the videos from the Garden.
Yeah, man.
But they would do. People who like really love comedy would come back here. When I used to run shows, who came here a lot? Sam Morrell used to hit me up. I guess if he had nothing going on that night or want to work on jokes, he hit me up all the time. He'd be like, "Can I just come in?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Come on in." He would do time, and he was getting big. Dan Soda used to come here a bunch when I was running it because I knew all those guys. Joe List I used to be like, "Hey, if you ever want to come, just hit me up." They would come and just work on shit. They would be like, "Yeah, I want to work on some new jokes." He'd be like, oh, "Okay, yeah, come on, hang out." It's a good time. That's who. If you're outside there, people walk by. If you see them walking by, just be like, "Hey, we're downstairs again." They might pop by.
Yeah, it's so funny how, for the most part, I mean, if you're in the New York comedy scene for a few years, everyone kind of recognizes everyone. You know?
Yeah, there is a love-hate with this place. I will get to you that. Like I guarantee you, people got to be in the room for them to come downstairs. Like there are times we bomb down here, like awful. Like, I mean,
no. I mean, I spoke with like H. Foley recently. He was like, "Man, we were there like almost every single night."
Yeah, and like, but like, there aren't like great times here. There are some great times, and there's some times you're like, I think it's over. I think like we're just gonna stop comedy and work for UPS. Like, you just like it's just awful because like they just get people in, and you got the wrong people in. They didn't want to be at the show. That was the key too. You get people down here, and if it was like 5 people, you got to kind of start the show quickly, because then you don't want 3 of them to leave. Because they're like,
Dude, you know what the thing is about this room thus far? Like, bro, we've had this thing operating now again for like 2.5, 3 months. Tops. Tops. So like upstairs, it's more of like, you know, you got a nice looking bar, you know, you got the doors.
Yeah.
And anytime we had like, you know, 5 people upstairs, we'd be like, oh, we're going to start the show now, but more people are going to be walking in. And then, you know, sometimes people just don't.
No, they don't walk in.
But down here, we haven't really had like the 4 or 5 person.
Yeah, so think about this. Yeah. So you're thinking about this place is, well, when I was doing it, it was free to get in. So, but then there was no like ticket sales or anything like that. It was just you get people from the street. You go, hey, we have a comedy show. Hey, you have a comedy show.
It's not much different now.
I mean, I get it. But there is a little bit of like, there are tickets at times here. Yeah. There was no tickets at all. So I'd be standing outside, be like, hey, you got a free comedy show? Oh, you want to come to a comedy show? Yeah, come on inside. It's a free comedy show. No charge. You just got to, you know, if you want to buy something, buy something. Walk down the steps to me in the basement. And then you open the door and it's just
Should we run this?
A room.
We're going to show you guys exactly how it happens. Let's go.
So yeah, I'll do the whole thing. Ready?
No, come upstairs.
Yeah.
Put it down. I'll switch it out. All right, so this is how the show would start. And it's not much different now, but I can imagine it's just dramatized. All right, go ahead.
Free comedy show going on. Check it out. Free show. Free get in. It's a free comedy show tonight.
Oh yeah, man! I want to see. I want to see
a show. All right, free to get in. Free to get in.
2 item minimum, or
no. You want to get stuff to be great for us, but we just want to do some jokes here. It's free to get in, no charge. Yeah, come on inside.
It's a free show.
Free show. Come on inside. How good are the comics?
How good are the comics?
They're great. Oh,
it's a funny show.
It's so good. Why is it free?
If it's so good, why is it free?
Yeah.
Can I go up?
We're just working on some stuff.
Can I go up?
Maybe. We'll see. No, you can't go up. It's a book show. It's a professional show.
All right, man.
Okay, where's the show? No, it's not in the main bar.
You just talked.
The show's not in the main bar. It's downstairs.
Downstairs?
Yeah, come downstairs. Come on. Okay. Come downstairs. Yeah. Come downstairs to the basement. We're in the basement. So it's a free show. You know, we'll start in about 5 minutes.
How many people are there?
You know, we got a couple people coming. A couple people coming in and waiting on people. But be here in a few minutes. Yeah, come to the room. Yeah, come to the basement now. All right, yeah. Sit wherever you want. Just sit wherever you want. Yeah. Actually, if you want in the front, would be great.
There's no one here though.
Yeah, they'll be here. It'll be in a little bit. And also, you have to forget, there's those speakers down here, so we put our phones on the thing and you just play music through the fucking speaker.
Oh, before the show.
Yeah. The big thing. Yeah. No, they'll be coming. And then the waitress will be here and you go get a drink order now. Go get a drink order now, right away. And if you get a drink order in, then they're gonna stay for at least 2-3 minutes. At least 2-3 minutes. So get him in here. So if no one was to get the first, honestly.
What year was that for you?
2014 to like 2014? 2014 to probably 2018, 2017. Yeah. Been doing comedy a long time. I'm an old man.
Well, but the thing is, like 2014, I feel like there was not a comedy boom at all.
There was no, it was coming up, but it wasn't a boom as it is now. So you had to get these fuckers in here, and then like making them stay was like, think about you're just a random person in the street from fucking Davenport, Iowa, and a guy like me is saying, come to this free comedy show.
Yeah, I'm down-ish.
Yeah. You're already like, I don't know, because like the worst was like you get like one person being like, okay, and one being like, I don't want to go, but the other person drags him in here. And that person's just talking him out the whole entire time. Just talking him, no, let's leave. Let's get the fuck out of here. Leave. At least with tickets, people like, they already spent the money, or like even if it's $5 already, like it's kind of a professional. This is not professional at all. So that's the thing. You just get him in here. Just whatever I do. It would be like, I remember Tuesday, Thursday, I was here all the time. And maybe some Mondays. I think I had every other Monday and then Tuesday, Thursdays. And just, Thursdays were better, obviously, but like Tuesdays were tough. Tuesdays were the 3-person, 5-person show. It's just like, oh God, what am I doing in my life? My friends are starting to have families and stuff. It's like, God damn it. And I'm trying to get fucking tourists from Georgia in here. But if they were a fun crowd, they were like willing to have a good time, shows are fire. Shows are great. So that's comedy. getting people in. It's a lot better now. I'll say like even the Barkers get paid at the pair now. It was no pay. It was no pay at all. It was just getting in here, get better at comedy. You get 8 minutes on stage, go up. That was it. I would rather do that though than an open mic. That's why I like doing this one. Because open mics in New York are not good. They're just comics sitting there either laughing or not, like laughing at their friends or not laughing at you. It's very cliquey. I would rather bark outside and get people in here who are real people. Is this joke really going to work? Not going to work. That's what I would rather. That's what I'd rather do. And maybe I should have done more open mics, but I like the way I don't mind. I was real people, so it wasn't terrible.
It's. I don't know how much people really understand comedy if they're not in the game.
People think every night is like HBO special. They don't get that. They don't know like this is where you have to like make. Think about this. People who do comedy, right? People who do a weekends, they are the 1% of comedians. So if you are able to headline on a weekend, you're already the 1% of comedians. Think about how many comics there are that we know. How many go to the next level? How many go to this level, to that level? So if you're doing a weekend, you're the 1%.
Wow. Yeah. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. You're the 1%.
Easily the 1%.
How many comics are in this fucking country? How many clubs? Maybe 200?
Well, even New York. New York, yeah. If you're living in New York doing comedy.
Yeah. If you're making money in comedy in New York, like I don't make a lot of money, but I make money. But where I'm like, when I look back in my head, I go, oh no, I actually am doing okay. You know, like I have money. People pay me to do comedy. So it's not like, but like you always want more in comedy. But like I have like friends who do weekends and they're like, just like, they're upset because some dumb fucking reason at the club. And I'm like, you're the 1% of comedians. You're headlining a good club in a weekend.
What would you say the 1% of the 1% are doing?
The 1% of the 1%?
Yeah.
They're doing theaters.
Okay.
But there are more theater acts now than there was 10 years ago.
And that's because of social media.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There are definitely way more theater acts now than there, because you know what, it made them like a Jeff Arcuri. Killing it. He's doing theaters, but without the Instagram and him popping off there, he wouldn't be doing theaters. You know, maybe he wouldn't even be doing clubs. I don't know. I can't tell you. Like he wasn't like gifted. Like people weren't tapping him as the guy. Like he just got popular off Instagram. So think about that. So even if you're featuring, like I'll feature for a weekend and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm probably in the top 10%. I'm featuring at a club and getting paid, doing 25 minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, all right, okay, not horrible. So little things. Ted Jones World.
I wonder if there ever really is a time to hang it up. I think it's me, like, and give up comedy. And I think that, I mean, bro, what am I? I never really know what to say, how many years in I am. I would say between like 5 and 6.
You're
you know? But the thing is, I would say like, when would somebody know to stop doing it? And I don't think that's a fair thing to say, because if you're at the point where you're like, all right, I'm going to stop doing it, it's like you're maybe not taking it that seriously, or you have been taking it super seriously for like 15 years. I don't know. I don't think there ever really is a time to give it up if you really love doing it.
But I deal with this every day, all day long. Like, is there a time to get? From what I heard, a lot of people have families. You know, they can't not making money, and they got to provide for their family.
That's 100% true.
That happens a lot. Not to try to be like, oh, that's why I'm single, but like that's also a reason why I never got into serious relationships in my late 20s, early 30s, because that's the time girls want to settle down and whatever. I got into relationships, but they weren't like, I knew the girls weren't like serious. So it's the thing, you know, I get it. There are things I'll never never like. All my friends are married with kids. I don't know if that will ever happen, which is whatever. It's just what like, I think about now. Like, should I give up? Like, I always like think in my head like I should give up. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I have a regular job. Like, it stinks. At least so like when I don't have like spots for a couple of nights, I'm like, what do people do? They just like go to bed. It's like, what do they? Like, my brain is always like, functioning differently. So just like, yeah, always try to write jokes or try to do something like that. I thought about a joke last night for no reason. I was just like walking my dog and I just thought about a joke. I was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah. So, it's whatever you want to. Don't worry. Don't get caught up with the 5-6 years in, I should be this place. That's going to drive you insane, which did for me. Don't get caught up on that at all. Get caught up in the fact that, you're doing comedy 5-6 years. And you're doing 5 nights a week. You're out doing shows, 6 nights a week out doing shows on the weekends. Yeah, that's really good. You're doing comedy on a weekend in New York City. That's pretty good.
I feel like I was super lucky to start in New York, because there's such a disconnect between other places and New York. Like people will do comedy in their city. They're there for sometimes 5 years. And then they're like, all right, well, I've kind of gotten to the ceiling here. There's another 30 guys and I'm the top of the 30 guys. Like, for example, a guy like Luca Farrow, who's been on the podcast twice and he's at the shop all the time. He's in New York sometimes, a New York Comedy Club. He, for the most part, like when I speak to him about it, he feels that he got to the point in Chicago where he kind of hit the ceiling, where it's like, okay, what else can I do further in Chicago that, if I stayed another 5 years? And that's where he kind of felt like, all right, I want to either move to a place like Austin, LA, New York. And that's something that I definitely don't take for granted, is that I started in New York. In New York, it's infinite how far you can kind of go.
Yeah, but there also is like, for me also, I also debate like maybe I should try to go. So like, I don't want to move to Austin, but go there a little bit, because then no one really knows me there, and I could go in and be funny. I think if you start in New York too, there is a little hindrance of like people see you young, and in their brain that you're always young, and you don't maybe get as much opportunity if someone coming in here and crushing it. You're coming in here and you're funny. Like, oh, this guy's funny already. Oh, okay, cool. Maybe that's a hindrance, but it is what it is. It's the balance. It's the checks and balances, honestly. It really, it's, 5 years in, you're doing comedy if in somewhere else, I guarantee you, a guy who's 5 years in New York is funnier. I'll guarantee you that. Because then if you're the top guy, like whatever, Davenport, Iowa, wherever the hell you are, and you're like, oh, I'm crushing it in Iowa. A lot of people come here. I know one of my good friends, who's not a comic at all, she moved to New York City. She moved in with a guy moved in with her who's a comic from like, I think San Francisco or something like that. And San Francisco is a pretty good room, but came here and was just like, he was a big fish there, and he came here and he was nothing, and he couldn't handle it. He moved back, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm not ready for that yet." I don't know if the guy will ever move back, but you come here, you think, "Oh, this is gonna be the same thing." It's totally different here. No one cares. Just how funny. You're not funny enough. Okay, go see you. Go do some mics. No one gives a shit. But there's more reps here, guaranteed. You also gotta like follow pretty heavy hitters. Sometimes. Pretty good. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but like I'm doing it for quite a while, and there are guys who are doing 3 years here. They might have to follow me, and I'm been doing it for longer, so I'm funnier. And then be like, oh shit, 3 years. Oh shit, now like, oh, I could not bury him, but like I'm funnier than him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't happen in somewhere else. So it depends. Like, that's the thing too. It's like it makes you get funnier quicker here, because you don't want to bomb. No one wants to bomb. So like, you gotta be like, how do I get to that level? How do I be funny as that guy? You gotta just keep doing shit.
Yeah, man. So many intricacies in this business, bro.
I feel like this is a podcast where it's like, I don't know if I'm soul searching or like Ted Jones is taken. Honestly, I've never seen this man speechless until this podcast episode, and I'm like, wow.
Well, I think, dude, you're shooting out gems, bro.
Oh yeah, just gems here.
No, yeah, gems, bro.
Yeah, I'll be but
I think it's also like
I'll be begging Ted for a spot after the show to do it on, because I have no spots this week.
But listen, it's also like in the acting world, right? Like, you can get an enormous role a year into acting. In stand-up, you can't really get something unless you are doing something stand-up comedy adjacent. You can't really get something stand-up comedy related a year in.
I guarantee you, a 15-year guy, no matter whoever he is, will always be funnier than the year guy. And the year guy could be the best comedian than whoever existed 10 years from now. Like, I guarantee you, Shane Gillis, me at 15 years in and him at 1 year in, I was definitely funnier than him. So that's the thing too. Like, he's fucking hilarious. He's one of the best working comics in the world right now. But a year and he's not as good to a guy who's 15 years in or something like that. So there is a thing about that where no matter who you are, who you will become, there's always gonna be someone better than you.
It's kind of like sports.
Yeah. No, because like if I'm a 10-year vet in basketball, a 1-year guy could be better than me.
I was talking about even from the beginning, like starting. You know, if somebody started sports at 5 years old and you're 20 years old.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of how I meant it.
Yeah,
not,
okay.
Not in the professional league.
I got you. I got what you're saying. Yeah, but that's the thing here. Like, the only art form you got to do in front of people. You can act in front of nobody and get better at acting. You really can't fucking do comedy in front of nobody. You don't know if the jokes are going to land. How many times have you written a joke, be like, that's going to be fire? And it just stinks.
Yeah.
You know, it's what it is. The world we live in. Ted Jones world.
Chris Scopo, dude, this has been an amazing
was
episode.
fun.
I hope you guys learned a lot from just listening, watching.
Yes.
And then also the virtual reality experience we had of you.
Yeah. What I'm going to say is don't do comedy and get a union job, okay? They have
before we get out of
benefits.
here, let us know where you're at, Chris.
At Chris Scopo, all social media.
Yeah, and this will be out not tomorrow, next Thursday. So if you have anything coming up, please let us know.
Yes. Also, this is better than our last podcast. We caused a lot of controversy.
Oh yeah. Quickly discuss that before we get out of here.
I do. I think.
And be easy on this one.
Don't clip this though. Don't clip this part.
Yeah, but if too many people watch it, then we're gonna get in trouble anyway.
All right. So I might have. I knew somebody in somewhere that may have went to some major league and may have enhanced himself some way.
Because you played baseball.
Because I play. Well, we're not gonna do that. And then I knew. And then like through our, I guess he put a clip of me basically saying the school, the team, and like people just cracked down like, oh, there's one of these three guys. Or like, and I was like, shit, that's not good. That's not good that you got these guys. And I was nervous because this was a secondhand story that I knew someone very well who played with him that may. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to call me because I'm going to be the asshole and he's going to kill me. But then like I think after all, people were like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have that online. Ted did the right thing. Took it down. But you got followers off it. We'll take it.
Chris Scopo, thanks so much for coming on. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.